Another video, another race in the mighty Mazda 2. This time we're up at Snetterton. Once again a track I've not been to before, to take part in another BRSCC Clubsport Trophy endurance race. This time we're back out in the Team Octane Mazda 2 by 2 Racing UK, as we're racing in Class E, hoping to take a podium at a track where the Mazda could potentially perform pretty well at. Teaming up with Colin once again, who has experience at this track, so there's plenty to learn during this race, and hopefully I can get up to speed pretty quickly. But after being taken out in the last race, I'm hoping the same doesn't happen here with some pretty quick machines out there. I'll have to be thinking 2 steps ahead of where I need to put the car at all times. So without wasting time, let's get into the video. Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video where today you'll see we are back out car racing. We're here at Snetterton today and we're here in the 2 Racing UK Team Octane Mazda 2 this time. Back out in that, obviously we raced at Brands Hatch, then we were out in the Rocket Dog car, which is also behind me, Alton Park, and this time here at Snetterton, back out in the Team Octane Mazda 2. So yeah, looking forward to it. Once again, Snetterton, a track I've never been on before, so it's going to be interesting. It's a very fast track from what I've been told. I was looking at the layout as well, it's definitely a very fast track. I've been told it suits the Mazda 2, so we'll see how it goes. Trying to do well in it today as well. So, we are in the Clubsport Enduro, 45-minute race. Me and Colin once again in the car. So last time out at Alton Park when I was racing the Rocket Dog racing, the Team Octane car almost got third if it went for that red flag and safety car. They got a podium, Colin and Joe at Donington. So the last 2 outings that car's had, it's had a podium and a potential podium. So we're hoping that it can also podium today as well, keep that sort of run going. It's nice to know that the car's got podium potential, but it's just extracting that podium out of it. So yeah, I'm just going to enjoy it. Once again, it's a track I've never been on before, so it's just going to be another learning experience. I'm not as nervous anymore about car racing, which is also nice. It's also nice to sit in the car and just, you know, drive instead of being like Brands Hatch where I was dead nervous. But yeah, let's get in the car and 25-minute qualifying to begin with, and let's get to it. So here we go then, straight out into qualifying. As you can see, I'm starting qualifying. The idea here is basically the same as Brands Hatch, as Colin's got a bit more experience around this track. The idea was for me to go out first, get the car all warmed up, because we've also got 2 new front tyres on as well, so you know, just to bed them in a bit, give them a lap or 2 to get them all fully up to working operational order, and then Colin hopefully to come out and set some good lap times to put us in a good position hopefully for the race. Now up ahead you've got the Rocket Dog Mazda 2, you've got Stefan driving here. He's also a very experienced racer, a very quick guy as well, so the idea here is basically to sort of learn off him, see where he's braking, see what lines he's taken. So once again, I've never been on this track before, so this is the very first time being on this track. Coming around turn 3 then, you'll see he goes quite wide. I think he went into the corner just a bit too quick, but because he does that, it allows me to get right behind him and shove myself onto the left hand side to get the overtake done before the hairpin at the back, at the bottom of this straight. And honestly, not a lot happens during qualifying at all. As you join me on my in-lap to give the car over to Colin. As you see then on the left-hand side, my fastest lap coming in with a 2:33.7, which was done on my second flying lap. So not a bad lap, but not a great lap. Definitely time to find, as you see here. I'll go wide during this last corner on the in-lap, just to sort of experiment with different lines, different speeds, just to see if I can find any more speed before heading out into the race. But yeah, coming to the pits to give the car over to Colin to hopefully find us some more time. Now you'll see here that Colin actually starts the stopwatch on the steering wheel. This is to time himself from being pushed back to the end of the pit lane. To try and help us out in the races, it is a mandatory 2-minute pit stop. So obviously you want to be as close to that 2-minute limit as you possibly can. So the idea is, if we know exactly how long we have to be stationary for before being pushed out. Now you'll notice that BMW then on the left hand side did come in at the same time, actually stopping Colin from driving off for about a second or 2. Now remember that for the race, as that's going to play a major part. But if we get to Colin's stint in qualifying, then you will see the Misty Racing MX-5 ahead, as Colin is slowly catching up to it. And the Misty Racing MX-5 is in Class E as well, so this is going to give us a good idea on, well, how quick that car is compared to us, as that Misty Racing car hasn't raced in Club Sport Endurance this year, so sort of a bit of an unknown for that car coming in. But as we can see then, Colin's going to breeze past him on the straight, something you don't really see a lot of a Mazda 2 breezing past an MX-5, especially on a racetrack. But here we are, it's happened, and that is the end of qualifying. Not a lot happening during Colin's stint either. So where do we qualify? We'll qualify 4th out of 6 in class with the 2:33.7 that I put down. So yeah, so we've got a few seconds off the Hyundai, which is in 3rd. But like I said, I've definitely got time to find it in the car, so hopefully we can find it in the race and hopefully try and get ourselves up into podium position. Right guys, that's qualifying finished. P4 in class, I think 29th or 30th overall. So yeah, not too bad. Podium's definitely on the cards. A Hyundai though that's in front of us, about 3 or 4 seconds a bit quicker, so a bit of work if we want to push for that podium. But yeah, hopefully we get a little bit lucky maybe. Like I say, podium's definitely on the cards, it's not out of it. But yeah, we'll see how far we go. I've definitely got time in the car. So I did a 2:33.7, which is about 2 seconds or so quicker than Colin. So I've definitely got time to find in the car. Colin apparently last year in practice did a 2:31.9, so there's definitely a lot of time to find in the car, especially since it's been upgraded since. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said in the intro, I'm not as nervous anymore, so I'm excited to get out on it. But yeah, 45-minute race. I'm starting a race, rolling start, same as Alton, so hopefully we don't get punted off, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, let's get to the race and let's just get in there. But first things first, we've got to do the tradition of putting one of my stickers on Neil's car. And just like that, we're all out into the assembly area, ready for the big race.
The Michelin Cochrane Mazda MX-5 has Gary Hobbs Hyundai Coupe for company on the next row, the 15th row shared by the Risbridger and Boot Mazda 2 and the Oates and Woodford example with Francis Falconer's Mark 1 Mazda MX-5 at the back of the grid. And with that, we are ready to go with a 2x2 rolling start then for this 45-minute race, with a mandatory pit window through the middle chunk of the race, during which every single car must make a visit to the pit lane. There's a minimum pit stop time as well that has to be adhered to. More on that later though, as the race gets underway. Then the cars blast towards Rich's corner for the first time, and the 45 minutes immediately begins to tick down. The field then heads through Rich's corner. There goes the number 14.
So you saw how the front runners got off. Let's see how we get off. And because we're starting on the outside of the final corner, as soon as everyone starts moving on the start straight, because we're on the Mazda 2, we don't quite get the jump that everyone else gets. So unfortunately, losing out a bit then on the start finish. But because everyone's bunched up, luckily it does mean that they're not going to get away from us straight away. So you see on the left hand side then the Rocket Dog RXA does get a bit of a bad start. So everyone else ahead of us trying to get in front of him. So like I say, everyone's seemingly trying to bunch up at the minute, which is hopefully going to allow us to try and take advantage here or there. But if we come up then to corner 2, you'll see on the right hand side is a BMW Compact, which was quite high up in qualifying for our Class E, but has now fallen quite down. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's either got a problem, maybe he's got a driver in there that's not quite got the pace as the person who did set the qualifying time in. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, maybe we've got a podium coming up. But once again, the Hyundai then and the BMW, they've got a lot more pace, especially in the straights, than the Mazda does. I can only do so much, especially in the corners, as the BMW on the left hand side then gets past. He's in a higher class, so we're not worried about him at all. Coming down to the second hairpin, and once again it's just trying to stick with the front bunch as much as I can, just in case something happens. But if we fast forward then to the big back straight, you'll see what I mean. Like I say, everyone at this point then is just pretty much just gone away. And with this big back straight, the Mazda 2 really isn't capable down this part of the track. So if we skip then to the start of lap 2, you'll notice the passenger window is slowly falling down. At the time of the race, I thought it'd just come down completely after going over a curb, but no, actually watching it back, it does turn out that the passenger window is slowly starting to fall down. You also notice as well, there's no one ahead of us, and we've got Stefan behind us in the Rocket Dog car, who's not really attacking, he's not in a attacking position, so we're not under threat by him at all. So at the minute, it's basically just me going around trying to experiment with different lines, experiment with different gears, try to see how far I can push the Mazda 2. And well, maybe right here, coming on lap 3, I might push the Mazda 2 a little bit too far. We do go a bit too wide, then go off. I believe I got a bit of pad knockoff as well, as at the time I thought my brakes were fading, but after talking to Colin after the race, he didn't seem to have a problem with brake fade at all, so maybe I'm just abusing the curbs a bit too much, which is causing the brake discs to knock the pads off a little bit. So here come the front runners, and on lap 5, notice on the left hand side there was another red Golf. As you can see, I'm looking left, he actually had to avoid me pretty much by going off wide somehow. I did leave the gap, but yeah, he took evasive action going out onto the grass and even confused the commentators.
Car running in Class C behind them, the MG, as the race leaders come out of the final corner. Well, one of them does. Where's the other one? Where is Jamie Hadley? Jamie Hadley, I did not see there, so we've got... Oh no, he's already gone through, so Julian Daniel's been delayed somewhere. He's 2.4 seconds back nearly from the race leader. Feroz Bilamoria, meanwhile, has got himself ahead of Rob Andrade now into third, so it's all going on. The VWs at the front of the field, very much putting on a good battle here. So if we wait long enough in the background, we should see Feroz Bilamoria. Here he comes, pops out of line up the inside of the Mazda. He sits in third position, but outbrakes himself. In fairness, so too a bit did Rob Andrade behind.
So yeah, the red Golf was meant to be pretty much right behind the blue Golf, but yeah, for whatever reason, because he had to go off wide onto the track, it created that 2-second gap. As we notice here, then Scirocco and the Golf pretty much absolutely shoving their way through. Obviously with blue flags, you're meant to really stick to the line and just be predictable. But there's times like that when, like the Scirocco, he just dies it down the inside. Same with the Golf, you can't physically take the racing line. You do have to, pretty much go wide. Like in F1, you do have to sort of give it way to them. So here we go then, the end of lap 9. We do eventually come in and swap with Colin now. This is sort of, like I said earlier in the pits, so I'm going to start the stopwatch just here. Yes, obviously we've got a 2-minute window, which is what we're meant to have. If we go under the 2 minutes, we get a 30-second time penalty, plus how much under we were in the pit stop. So because that BMW in qualifying did stop Colin from going out for a brief second, he thought he'd sort of add the time, basically add a couple extra seconds onto when he's going to start being pushed back. As you can see him looking down on the stopwatch, I think at this point he did say after it, he did sort of know that we might be facing a short pit stop penalty, which we do. We actually end up a 1 minute 58 second penalty, so that did cost us 32 seconds. But back to the race. Colin comes out under a safety car, and this is why.
Time, so in about 2 and a bit minutes time, we'll see where he is in relation to that car that just went across the line, the Julian Daniel machine. So Julian Daniel continues on his way back onto the lead lap now, of course. There he goes looking to the Wilson hairpin. Feroz Bilamoria and Rob Andrade have both continued on as well, so they now become the top 2. Rob Andrade closing back in on Feroz Bilamoria, actually. Shane Kelly is in, though, in the Morgan. Oh, and look at that, there's flames from underneath the Julian Daniel car, and this is the car that was challenging for the race lead, but he needs to get out of that very, very quickly. He pulls over immediately to the side of the road, luckily right next to a marshal's post, but that car has expired in very spectacular fashion.
So yeah, the red Golf going up in flames. Luckily no one's injured, everyone's safe and sound from the incident, which is obviously what we like to hear. Now, a couple of laps into the safety car, this really weird thing happens where the safety car wants to pick up the leader. So as you can see here, Colin being let past along with a few other cars ahead also being let past basically creates another pack within the group. So the idea was the whole pack was meant to be catching up to behind the safety car, but we ended up being halfway around the track instead. So when the green flag comes out right here, coming into lap 13, Colin's just in the middle of nowhere. We're halfway around the track from everyone else. Yeah, still in 4th place, and literally nothing happens to the end of the race, as seen here. So yeah, I'd love to show you more of the race, but literally nothing else happens. So overall, 25th out of 31st, we do stay 4th in class even with our pit stop penalty. And yeah, fastest lap being by myself with a 2:23.6 on lap 7. Yeah, honestly, it was just a weird race where nothing really happened. Obviously, I was happy to be out there. But yeah, let's debrief in the pits. Right guys, that is the race done. On my side, wasn't a whole lot of drama. Obviously went off going under the bridge. I thought to begin with it was brake fade, but I can't remember what the terminology is, but when you go over the rumble strips and the brakes basically come off the piston, I'll put it here. But yeah, that must have happened. Yeah, that was the only real drama I had. Definitely could have gone quicker. I was making mistakes here and there. Definitely pushing the car as hard as I could. I was pushing it hard that the passenger window decided to fall down into the driver's door, so luckily we didn't get stopped for that. But yeah, so there's not really a whole lot to talk about. P4 out of 6 in class, obviously that's where we qualified. We did get a slow stop penalty, but luckily we've had a safety car worked out with Colin. It didn't really affect us too much. We're still in P4 at the end of the day. Yeah, so it would have been nice to have gone for the podium, but with this track being such a power circuit and the Mazda 2 sort of being down on power compared to the top 3, it's not really, there's only so much we can do. Obviously I could have improved my time by about a second or two, but the Hyundai in third was still getting a 2:28, which is still 5 seconds quicker than the fastest lap I got. But yeah, so the main goals are there, quicker than my teammate all day. Best possible result we could have got without retirement or anyone going off, and yeah, had a good time really. That's what we're here for, to have a good time, to have a fun time, got more experience in the bag. Like I keep saying, the nerves ain't really there anymore. It's good to just jump in the car and sort of go for it. I feel like I was still a bit hesitant on the first 2 laps. Tyres couldn't quite warm up, maybe that's just the MRS that's not pumping in as quick as something like an AO52 or something like that. Obviously with the MRS designed for a bit of a longer stint over a short 15-minute sprint race. So yeah, that's that done. Third race down. I believe the next race is going to be at Cadwell Park. And talking about Cadwell Park, the next video you'll most likely be seeing is the next round of the Javelin Sprint Series in the Yaris. So we're finally going to be back out in the Yaris, possibly doing a track evening in a couple of days time here in the Swift. Just depends if I can get the tyres ready for that or not. Yeah, we'll see if there's another video on that as well. So yeah, a lot more car stuff to come. Still 3 more races that pretty much confirmed to be doing in the Mazdas. So still 3 more sprints to do as well. Well, 4 if you count Cadwell coming up. So yeah, plenty of stuff to come. So yeah, still the second half of the year is looking good. It's going to be filled with a lot. It's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy second half of the year. That's what we like to hear. So yeah, thanks very much for watching YouTube. If you did like, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. If there's anything you want to see in the next races / sprint videos, please let me know in the comments. Like I say, it would be nice to try and make this more enjoyable for you lot, as I know the car stuff isn't as popular as the karting videos, but I enjoy making the car videos, and ultimately that's what's going to make a good video, is doing what I love, and that's racing cars. So yeah, thank you very much for watching YouTube, and I'll see you at Cadwell Park.